Welcome to AzureTeach.net.
In this demo, we are going to discuss the basics of Azure Web Jobs and also create a triggered web job that will trigger auto renewal emails like this. This is based on a real life use case. Before we start, please subscribe to AzureTeach.net channel for more videos on Azure and .NET. This demo is based on a real-time use case that I have worked on for a US-based health insurance company. As a health insurance company, they used to provide healthcare plans to the people and the people used to buy them. We call them as members. Generally, they'll buy the plans with 1 year tenure and they will be auto renewed after 1 year. So we have to inform them 15 days prior to their plan expiry, stating that their plans will be auto renewed and their credit card will be charged. For this purpose, we have developed a console application and deployed that as a scheduled web job inside Azure, and this runs once a day and it sends email notifications to the members. First, let us understand the basics of web job. Web job is a process that runs in the background and performs certain tasks. There are three types of web jobs: manual, scheduled, and continuous. Manual web jobs means you will deploy the application as a web job and you run that manually. And scheduled web jobs means these process will run at a particular configured time. And continuous means these process will run continuously 24/7. You can relate scheduled web jobs as console applications or some other applications. They run at particular time every day or every week or every month based on the requirement, and continuous web jobs as Windows services. In this demo, we are going to discuss about scheduled web jobs. We are going to create a console application and deploy that as a web job. So here I have created a .NET 5 console application. This application will be simple and we are not going to add any fancy code related to entity framework because our primary focus is web job. So instead I am going to create a list of records and will use that in our code. In interest of time, I paused the video and created this class which holds the details of the members whose plans are going to be expired. And also here I have created a hard-coded list of records, but in real time we are going to fetch these details from the database. We are going to use Twilio's SendGrid to send emails. This is available in Azure as a subscription, but of course we have to do more configurations. I am going to create a separate video on the configurations related to Twilio, but here let us focus on the web job. Let us make this main method as async method because we are going to call async method inside this. So here I'm writing async task, press Ctrl dot add required namespace, and here we have to iterate over the list that we have created where member in underscore member details, and inside this we are going to call a async method. So here I'm writing send email notification async, and to this I am passing member object, and here I'm pressing Ctrl dot generate method. Here I'm writing where send grid client is equal to new send grid client, and press Ctrl dot over here. It will install the package. So here we have to select the SendGrid package and choose find and install latest version. The packages have been installed. To this SendGrid client we have to pass the API key, and this key we can get from the Twilio site. I'll paste this later. Here I'm writing where message is equal to new SendGrid message. Press Ctrl dot over here, and inside this we have to mention few properties. So here I'm writing from is equal to new email address, and inside this we have to mention the from email address. So here I'm mentioning my admin email account. You can use any email account, but this has to be registered inside Twilio. I'll show that in the video that I'm going to make on Twilio. And the subject is auto renewal notice. Here I'm hard coding these details, but the best practice is to read these details from a configuration file, and that we do in the real time. But here I want to make this demo simple, so I have hard coded. So here I'm writing msg.html content is equal to, we are going to read the content from a file. So here I'm writing file, add the namespace, read all text, and here we have to give the path to the HTML file that we are going to read. For that, here I'm adding a new folder, add new folder, email templates, and inside this I'm adding a file. So add existing item and paste the file over here. This file is a simple HTML file that has some code which will show a email in a predefined format. The outcome of that file will look like this, and here we have some placeholders. So the content will be the same for all the recipients except few things like name and renewal date. So that's the reason we have added placeholders, and remaining thing is a constant text. Here I'm writing, we have to copy this path, so I'm copying this and pasting it over here, and / we have to take this file name and pasting it over here, and after that we have to replace those placeholders. So here msg.html content is equal to msg.html content.replace, and here we have to replace name, so it should be hash name hash, and here the name should be member.name, and I'm copying the same over here and pasting it over here. It should be the date, and here we have to use member.expiry_date.toString, and here we have to mention the format. So here I'm writing After that, in single quotes, we have to mention the slash, otherwise this toString function will return hyphen instead of slash. And after that, here we have to mention dd, again single quote slash single quote, and after that y. And after that, here we have to add the recipient. So here I'm writing msg.add_to, and here new email address, and the to address will be member.email. And after that, here we have to write send grid client dot send email async, and to this we have to pass the message object, and here where response is equal to, here we have to add await, and here this should be async, and here we have to check if response dot is success status code, then console.writeLine email sent to, and here member.email, and else console.writeLine email sending failed to, and inside this member.email. Let us enclose this in try catch blocks. So here I'm writing try, and here catch exception, and again here also I'm copying this and pasting this, and here I'm writing with exception, and inside this I'm mentioning ex. Here I'm writing console.writeLine auto renewal notification badge have been completed, and here let us add static field private static int underscore exit code is equal to 0, and here if something goes wrong, set this underscore exit code is equal to 1, and here let us write environment dot exit of underscore exit code. That's it. This is what we have to do in the console application. We are going to deploy this to a web job. We can do that in multiple ways. In this demo, I'm going to show two ways of deployment. If you want to deploy an application as a web job, we have to create an app service. Let us do that now. Here I'm in portal.azure.com, clicking on app services, create. I'm creating a new resource group rg-05-22. Okay, and I'm giving the name as Azure Teach Demo, and here I'm choosing runtime stack as .NET 6. I want to go with Central US region, and SKU size I want to use dev test because this is demo. If you want to create an app for production, you have to choose this production one, but now I'm choosing dev test, and here I'm choosing shared infrastructure because this is free one. So I'm clicking on apply and clicking on next deployment, and here I want to go with the default values, and here also I want to go with the default values. And in the monitoring sections I do not want application insights, so I'm disabling this. And now I'm clicking on review and create, again clicking on create. Here the app service is created, and if you scroll down, here we have the web jobs. We can add the web job by clicking on this add button, and also we can publish it from the Visual Studio. We can see publishing the web job from the Visual Studio later. For now, let us click on this add button, and here it will ask you to upload a file. So what we can do is we can build this solution and go to the build folder. So if you go here, I have the build. Here I'm in the debug folder, but ideally it should be the release version. As this is a demo, I'm just doing it from the debug folder. I'm selecting all and right clicking on this and send to a zip file because we have to upload a zip file. And now I'm going over here, copying this path, and here I'm giving the name as Azure Teach Demo Web Job, and here I'm clicking on file upload. So I'm choosing this file that we have created just now. Here if you see, we have two types, triggered and continuous. In this demo we are discussing about triggered, so I'm choosing this. And here also triggers, scheduled and manual. Manual means, as we have discussed in the starting of this video, we have to run it manually, but here we want to create a scheduled web job, so I'm choosing this. Here we have to mention our job schedule in CRON expression. CRON expression will have 6 placeholders. So if you see here, we have second, minute, hour, day, month, day of week. We have to use CRON expression to mention the schedule, and here it shows an example CRON expression. Our production job runs every day at 8 a.m. and this is the cron expression for that. And here we have the information about the cron expression, and I'll leave this link in the description. And here we can't wait until 8 a.m. and also this Azure Web Jobs runs in UTC time. And if we want to change the time format, we can do that as well in the configuration section of the app service. But for now, for this demo, I want to change this to run for every 2 minutes. So here I'm changing the cron expression. Here I have pasted a different cron expression, and this will make sure to run for every 2 minutes. I'm clicking on OK. After 2 minutes, the web job will be run. At present, it is adding the web job, and if you see, the web job has been added. We can see the files those are deployed as part of this web job by going to the console that is over here. You can go to the console and you can write dir over here. Here it will show you different folders. You can go into app_data dir again. So here I have navigated to the full path to our web job. So here it is app_data/job/triggered/the job name. And if you see, these are all the files, those are deployed as part of our web job. If you see here, we have a settings.job, and this we haven't added this Azure adds it. And if you want to create our own settings.job, that we can do that, and I'll show you that later. After some time, if you see here, we have a status failed a minute ago. I'm selecting this and clicking on this logs. It opens a different page, and here if you see, there are multiple failures because this job run multiple times. So I'm going into one of this, and if you see here, we have failed. Generally in our code we have handled the exception over here, so it should show you as success, but it is showing as failed. So here in our code we haven't mentioned API key, so here it is throwing the exception, and after that here we set the exit code as 1. So that is the reason it is showing failed over here. Otherwise, as we have added try catch blocks, it would have shown us as success through the process has failed. Let us go into one of these. And here the reason is we haven't added the subscription key. Let us confirm that by the logs. If you see here, the email sending is failed, and the reason is API key value cannot be null. So let us add the API key, and also let us add settings.job file on our own and do the deployment from the Visual Studio. I'm removing this. I'm deleting this over here. And in the Solution Explorer, right clicking on here and clicking on add new item, and here I'm searching for a JSON file, and I'm naming this as settings.job. So inside this settings.job file, you can mention the cron expression. So it has few properties. So here we can write schedule. So the schedule, we can mention the cron expression. The cron expression is 0 space stars by 2 space star 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 and star. And it has some other properties as well. Like if you see e singleton, and this e-singleton property is not applicable to the scheduled web job. This is applicable to the continuous web job. This will make sure to run only one instance of the application. And also here we have stopping wait time. This is a different property, and this property is needed as you are deploying your web job inside the web app and assume you are stopping your application. That means the web job will also be stopped, just to give some grace minutes. Like you are stopping the web application and you want to give 10 minutes of time. Assume you want to give 10 minutes of time to the web job to finish. So you can mention that time in this stop wait time. Apart from this, there is one more property as well, that is ease in place. The significance of this property is when Azure runs this web job, it will copy the web job files to a temporary directory and runs it over there. This is to prevent the exe logs. Like if the application of this web job is running from the deployment location, and if there is a chance of locking that exe, and if you try to update the DLLs, it will fail. So to prevent that, it will copy the files to a temporary directory and runs the web jobs. But if you want to set that to run from the deployment location itself, you can make this as true, and you can get all this information from this page. I'll leave the link in the description. For now, let us go with the schedule only and save this file. And few things we have to do over here. Press F4 on this file, it will open this properties window, and here we have to mention copy always, because this file should be there inside the deployed files. And on the settings.job, press F4, and here we have to mention copy if newer, and please make sure to mention this as copy if newer only. Otherwise it seems there is some problem, it is not choosing this file while deploying to the web job. So I'm closing all these files, and also here I'm pasting the API key. Now here on this project, right click and go to publish, and here we have to choose Azure, click on next, and here choose Azure Web Jobs, click on next. Here it will load the web jobs. Please note that you have to log into the Visual Studio with your Microsoft account. I'm expanding this, and here I'm choosing the app service, clicking on finish. Now the publish profile is created. I'm clicking on publish. The publish is successful. And here is the job that it is added, and this should run after 2 minutes. If you see here, it shows the process completed few seconds ago. I'm going to the logs, and here we have the success. I'm clicking on this link, And if you see, it is showing the emails that it sent to. Here I am in my email account, and if you see here, I got the email. Before we wind up, we have to discuss few important things. Here this application is simple and ran so quickly, but in real time these applications will take 10 plus number of minutes and sometimes hours also. But Azure will terminate these jobs if it is idle beyond 121 seconds. So to prevent that, we have to add few properties to the configuration. Here I'm in the app service configuration tab and general. So in real time for your web jobs, you must set this always on settings to false. For now, it is disabled because here I'm using dev test related app service, but in production, you have to use standard or something more premium than that. Now here I have added this 10 minutes sleep time just to mimic that this app takes 10 minutes of time, and let us deploy this to the Azure. I have added the web job over here. Now the job is running, and after some time if you see the job ran failed. I'm clicking here. If you go to the logs, and here it says the job was aborted due to no output nor CPU activity for 121 seconds. So to avoid these kind of issues, if you have a long running job, we have to set these two properties. So I'm copying this property and going to app service configuration, application settings, new application setting. Here I'm adding some 3640s, clicking on OK. This will prevent the app from terminating if there is no console output. And again, I'm clicking on this new application setting. Now I'm copying web jobs idle timeout. If there is any blocking operation inside your application, like if there is any database call that is blocking and if there is no CPU activity, this setting will prevent terminating that job. So here I'm adding some value, clicking on OK and clicking on save over here. And after these settings, if you run your job, that job will run perfectly fine. That is all in this demo. If you like this demo, please like this video, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to Azure Teach.net channel for more videos on Azure and .NET. Thank you.